from mute. You alright, mate? How you doing? Yeah, I'm doing alright. It's been a long time since we've spoken on the actual voice-to-voice.
Yeah, I don't think we've spoken since RR.
I remember the last time we spoke was like a few days after RR. We had that long party. Do you remember we had that long conversation? A few days after?
I think I remember, yeah. Do you remember with all the boys when we there was like 10 of us there, lions, them sheep?
No, we had a private party chat. Do you remember? It was just you and I. We were speaking about just like the whole situation. Do you remember, like, after it was after I left RR, we were just sat there just talking it over.
I can't remember, to be honest.
It was a while ago.
But yeah, everything that happened, mate, it's a pity, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's like, in a way, it kind of, I don't know. It's really funny to think about it now because, like, I wonder what RR would have ended up being during COVID.
Well, it's flux now, isn't it?
Oh, I just wonder what it would have ended up being if you know, during, because obviously I left RR just before the COVID pandemic, so that was the reason really why Motive got very lucky. Because no, I just I left because I didn't like the fact that people were being turned away. So at the time,
How do you mean people were being turned away?
so like there was you had like a full tier of drivers for some of the tiers in RR. I remember it vividly, like it was yesterday, and I was trying to push for the boys to make extra tiers because we had literally like about a full tier of drivers in the reserve list, and I was saying to them, like, come on, we've got a week to sort this out. We can't just be turning people away. If we turn people away, we're going to be a laughing stock. And people like Lecky and that were just saying, oh no, we can't do it because I think what he wanted. I'm not going to name any names because it's not fair, but my theory was at the time, and it is still now, is that he wanted certain people who were going to be a financial benefit to the organisation to be in the league.
It's corporate through to the core.
Yeah, so he wanted a community of people who were going to be backing us rather than a proper racing league where people could be in the league on merit and people could work their way to the top divisions. He wanted the people who he wanted, and I kind of get it. At the time I didn't get it. Now I get it a bit more. I understand it a little bit more, not just for the corporate side of it, but also the idea of having a community. That's one thing I do understand now that I didn't then, is maybe the idea of having a almost a closed community isn't such a bad thing in a way. It's not as bad as what it seems.
It makes you look good at the end of the day, doesn't it? Because all they're doing is, when they put it out there online, like the racing, so they're looking at the racers as employees, really.
Pretty much, yeah. Exactly that. They're just like, well, yeah, it works both ways though. I always look at it as when you've got a racing league and you've got the streams and stuff, it works both ways because you're obviously, in a sense, you're using the people who are racing to promote your brand, in a sense. You know, although I never saw it like that before, right? Like now I kind of like see that's kind of, it's the case, it is true. Because you do rely on people turning up and you rely on people racing cleanly and being competitive. If it's not a competitive race, if people aren't being competitive, then it's not going to look, no one's going to want to join it. But it's also like a case of what you provide for people when they come along and race, because if you can put on a good show and give them something to enjoy afterwards, then that, I mean, I know from personal experience, there's nothing that I love more than racing at Simplay and being able to watch it back afterwards, you know. It's quite nice to be able to.
I try to entertain every time I'm on track because I know I'm being watched. So
yeah,
I get that.
And you can also just look back with pride afterwards and just be like, yeah, I put on a good race there. That was good fun. But yeah,
my biggest highlights are from Motive, to be honest. Some of the best racing I've ever had has been on ACC, and it's been on one-on-one. There's very rarely, like, you know, train 3 or 4 racing. But yeah, some of my best racing has been on Motive.
In a way, when it's a one-on-one for the lead, it's possibly better than when it's a group of cars fighting for the lead as well, because it's like it adds more. Yeah, it's more dramatic as well, because it's like it's one or the other. It's going to be one of these two. Who's it going to be? Rather than it's just a load of people fighting for the same bit. But like
that can also be exciting.
Yeah, of course it can. Of course. No, I remember RI used to always be quite a lot of people fighting for the win, didn't it? There always used to be loads of people because it was touring cars, and the touring cars you could just follow ridiculously easily. So there's always loads of people.
First touring car championship I entered in RR, there was 4 drivers that could do it at the end. I believe myself, Demobi, Stealth Sheep and Corsa.
Yeah, that was the season. I think I might have bailed at starting that season.
Done the commentary for Road America, not Road America. What's that road called?
Sonoma?
No, the long one. With
Daytona. Daytona.
Daytona. Long,
Texas.
down the road,
Texas.
Long street left into
Texas.
the left hand. King
Texas.
Right.
Texas. Yeah, it's Texas.
Texas. Okay.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I think that's Texas road course. It's the one with, it's like the Mickey Mouse oval rather than an actual proper oval. It's not really a proper oval. Yeah. Yeah, you got Daytona's the long one. The Texas is the short one. The less banked one. Actually, no, it's more banked because it's tighter. Yeah.
Yeah, I know he done the commentary on that, and I do believe he done the first two that season.
I remember Murphy took over the comms for most of that season. And I remember I still watched it. I'll be honest with you, mate. For the rest of that season, I was always watching every RR stream because I always wanted to see if we were doing better than theirs. How fucking petty is that?
The nostalgia of RI is still strong. It really is.
Honestly, how petty is that? I would always be on their streams seeing if we'd done better than them. I don't know.
Evening all.
Hey, evening.
How we doing?
Good, good, good.
Massive echo coming from you, I think.
Is it my end, really?
Yeah, I'm sure. And it sounds your end anyway.
Is it whenever I talk?
No, it's whenever I talk, I can hear myself back in 3 minutes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it is my end because I can't hear your echo.
I can't hear any echo either. I can then.
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Have you got something in the background?
Nope. Nothing. I don't know what it is. Well, can you hear your voice like really clearly every time you talk?
Yeah.
It might go with me. Let me leave and come back in.
One second, mate. Is it better now at all? Oh, okay.
It's definitely better. No, still the same.
I can't hear anything.
No, it's still the same for me.
Could you still hear it when Lightblade jumped out? Maybe.
Yeah.
Right. How about now?
I'll check on two.
Yep, no, still the same.
Oh, mate, there's nothing we can do about it. My volume's like down at half. There's nothing we can do. Fuck. Is it like really off-putting? I can try and sort it out. Is it like?
No, it's to be absolutely fine.
Is it really bad?
That was bad.
It's pretty.
It puts you off kind of what you're saying.
What about now? Try now. Is it really bad?
Yeah, it's the same.
Is your game volume up? If you turn the game volume up, it might be better. Are you? Also one thing. If we do have a full 20 car grid, what we can either do, I can link Lightblade to my Twitch stream, which is only about 3 seconds behind real time, or because we're both on PS5, aren't we, Freeman? We're both on PS5. Lightblade, you're on PS4, aren't you? Can't share play you because it doesn't work cross-play, share play. If we don't, that's the thing. It's only 2 slots. I think that you can only have 2. We can try it. But we might have to. If it only lets you have 2 spectators, then we might have to take up a race slot. In which case,
as we got 20 tonight.
We've got 20, definitely, 100%.
Yeah,
okay.
Should have, yeah.
Okay. In that case, Lightblade, what I'll do, I'll link you to my Twitch stream. Let me just send that to you on Discord. Shit, how long have we got? We've got 1 minute. We've got 1 minute and 20 seconds. Fucking hell, that's crept up. Okay. Grab that link.
So if I do this, so Lightblade, you go onto the party chat.
I don't think it'll work. He's on PS4. It's never worked before.
Can you see my screen? Can you see the share play?
Yeah, like it's fine. Right, go on to Discord and click the link to my Twitch stream. Let me just check how far behind it is. I think it's pretty close. If I refresh it, it might be a bit closer. Right, it's 4 seconds behind, so it's not too bad. So you'll be seeing what we're seeing about 4 seconds after we're talking about it, basically. So I don't know, a good dynamic might be like I'll cue you in at times when something dramatic happens. Like quali, we can just talk free, can't we? In quali, and then if something happens on the track, we'll sort of like react to it, and then we can cue you in, or just you can just add your 2 cents or whatever, Okay, right, we're 10 seconds, boys. So let me just check, make sure the music's turned off. Let me know what's. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Motive Racing YouTube channel. We're here on Wednesday night for the GT3 League here on the PlayStation 4 platform for the round 2 of Season 9. Season 9, isn't that incredible? But we've got 17 cars out on the grid right now for what should be a great night. We've got a few more getting ready to jump in, so we should hopefully have the full house, 20 drivers out on track here for this race here at Laguna Seca. We're in the desert, we're in California for this one. And I'm absolutely stoked for this for tonight. But it's not just me in the commentary box. I'm also joined by 2 friends in the commentary box tonight. From my usual partner in crime tonight, Freeman, alongside us. And we've also got a very, very special guest in Lightblade as well. So Freeman, Lightblade, welcome along, gents.
Evening, guys.
Evening. Thank you very much for having us again.
It's my pleasure. It's always good to have a couple of extra faces in the box, a couple of extra voices to entertain the masses here in the comments. We've got, let's just have a quick little look. Don't know if anybody's watching the stream at the moment, but we've usually got quite a few. We have got Mr. Lemon in the comments saying, let's go Jazzman. Jazzman obviously took the win last week for the first round at Suzuka, and he's also the PS5 GT3 champion for last season here at Motive, so he knows what it takes, and he's currently setting a blistering pace tonight in this practice session. Lightblade, you went toe to toe with this man last week. Just how quick is he? How much of a difficult proposition is he out on the track?
He is on another level. He really is. Fair play to him. He's consistent. I watched his stream back after last week's race, just to kind of get a little insight into my new rival, should we say. He is so good. Fair play to him. What he's doing with the setup, what he's doing with the car, the way he conducts himself on the racetrack, he is on the edge 100% of the time. So yeah, can't say more than that. He's so good.
Yeah, he certainly seems like he never rests, and we saw last season Jazzman went toe to toe with Tynus in the house, his teammate for the majority of the season, and he's a driver who's also very patient as well. I've noticed over the course of the season that I've watched him, haven't raced against him, but he doesn't really seem to make a whole load of mistakes. Last week at Suzuka, he made one little mistake, which Freeman we obviously saw just before the pit window, but it still didn't stop him. And despite Lightblade, who is alongside us tonight in the box, says he can't race, down to the fact that his TV's packed it in, but which is obviously a massive shame there for you and for us as viewers. But with the absence of Lightblade this week, Freeman, do we reckon that Jazzman has got an easy run of it, or do we reckon somebody can take it to him?
Without kind of ruling anybody else out, I do think in terms of the pace, at the moment, so he's set 1.2 quicker than anybody else. I think he is a class in his own. However, you never know. Laguna Seca is a difficult track. To be consistent, all it takes is a one small mistake. You take a sausage curve a little bit too hard. You go off, it's a very unforgiving track. You go off circuit slightly. There's no real runoff. You're straight into the sand, and it can cause you to spin. So there potentially might be possibilities. Recco Vantage obviously going to want to make up for last week with his not able to finish the race. And he was in good form going into this. So yeah, I reckon there could be one or two that could potentially give him a bit of a run, if any mistakes happen. That is.
You mentioned guys like Recco Vantage, obviously the GT3 champion in this multi-class series that was on Wednesday night last season. So yeah, definitely a potential proposition there for him. You got guys like Ryan as well of Run DJC. He's currently in the pits at the moment. I reckon we probably haven't seen the best of him tonight so far. Iron Saber's looking a lot better this week. We raced obviously in the sort of semi-wet conditions last time out at Suzuka, and we didn't really get to see his pace in the dry, but he's currently third in this practice session at the moment. We've also got plenty of drivers who are veterans of this Wednesday night league here as well. John Jig, Codlungu, Duke Martin, Nilsson, Pete Bibb as well. So yeah, like King Quinn also jumping in as well, as we see Codlungu just spinning it there coming up the hill as he's just coming out of turn 5 and he retires to the pits. So he's had a bit of an off and he's had to just come in and get that sorted out and get himself back in order. But noticing again that Jazzman has extended his gap at the top. He's now into the 121.8. So that just goes to show, yeah, what another level he's on right now. He is blitzing it, and nobody else is even in the 122. So it just really shows, I think, how much dedication he's putting into making sure that he's got himself set up perfectly for this. Oh, he's just pushing a little bit too hard there, and he's gone wide. So he's a human being, as we can see, but yeah, he's looking like it's going to be very, very difficult to get anywhere near him tonight. And you can see just how much he's pushing those limits, because he's ended up going off. So he's probably now found those limits, and he'll probably keep it tidy for the rest of the night. But we've got currently 5 drivers out on the track at the moment, and we've got 13 of these guys currently in the pits. So I'm not quite sure if they're just making a few adjustments before the end of this practice session. But we've got 6 minutes left to go, and I wonder if some of them are just running high fuel loads, because quite often in the practice session it makes a lot more sense to run in race trim. I don't know what you boys do in the practice sessions. I mean, I myself, I race in a GT3 league on Project Cars 2 on Thursday nights, and I always tend to sandbag a bit in practice, try and run some high fuel loads, try and lure my opponents into a false sense of security, and then when it comes to the qualifier, I tend to trim it down. But I mean, what would your guys' strategy be in this one, in this situation?
I mean, I have nothing but literally. I can't kind of go slower. I can't kind of try and lure people. I'm just full throttle all the time. You know, what you see in my practice laps is what you're going to get in my race as well. But I tend to try and mix it up a little bit. You know, I will probably start off doing the first, say, 20 minutes or so, kind of running my race fuel, making sure that the car feels right in kind of the full race load. But then I will spend another, say, 10 minutes or so just kind of running on a quali lap, just so again, you know, any final tweaks that you might need to kind of to make, even if it means that you're finding an extra temp here and there. You know, to me that's kind of how I would always run my practice sessions.
What about you, Lightblade? Are you more of a pedal to the metal type of guy, or are you conserve a bit, let them think that you're not as on it as you are?
Yeah, I could be pedal to the metal sometimes. Sometimes there is a little bit of strategy involved, especially if you're competing against a guy like Jazzman, or even Reckel there, Ryan Ruby. They're all competitive guys when it comes to racing. One lap is one thing, 60 minutes is another. So I tend to go into a practice session thinking about 60 minutes. I can give it sort of a 3 to 5 lap blast now and again with low fuel to see where I am on the 1 lap pace, but overall it's about the race. 1 lap,
yeah.
As they say, trebles for show, doubles for dough. So
yeah, of course, yeah. So it's about sort of knowing where you are, but pretty much making sure that you're ready for the long onslaught.
The thing with ACC tyre wear is a big major thing, and I know Laguna Seca is quite high on tyre wear, so it all depends on what these boys do in the pits, whether they change tyres or not. That could become a major role in the end game here.
You mentioned the tyre wear there. The situation tonight, racing at night, do you reckon that might alleviate some of that?
100%. Track temperature and air temperature seem very low as well, so these boys need to be on top of it with their tyres tonight, definitely.
Yeah, and the thing is with the tyre change now as well, with the way that the pit structure is, it will cost you 30 seconds. If you're not looking to refuel when you're just going to go and change your tyres, that will cost you 30 seconds.
Like last week, straight up on the jack, straight back down again, and off he goes.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, I don't think I could make up 30 seconds after coming out of the pits. Yeah, well, he won't change his tyres. I don't think he'll change his tyres. I don't think he'll refuel. I think he'll literally go from start to finish it with one. If he wanted to, he'd do it in one stint.
Yeah,
but obviously, he has to come in for the mandatory stop. But yeah, I think a lot of people kind of got caught out last week, yourself included, like Blaze. But you know, a lot of people got caught out last week with regards to kind of changing tyres and putting fuel in. I think we'll see a lot quicker pit stops this time round. But there may be one or two that still would look to kind of do a tyre change. But me personally, I think I would cope with the tyre wear over the 30-second tyre change.
Yeah, I think it's definitely it's not even a trade-off for me. I think it's a no-brainer because the amount of time that you lose in the pits compared to the amount that you gain by having fresh tyres is just like there's no point whatsoever from my perspective. From what I've seen, I don't really race on this game too much, but just seeing the differentials last week, you know, like by making that change and Jazzman opted not to. So yeah, I have to agree with you boys. It's probably not worth it. But right now we're watching Cosmic Crusader. He's currently the top runner of the drivers who are out on track at the moment. He's in P6 making his debut tonight. We've got a couple of Davidsons here for this race. Cosmic Crusader. And we've also got Motormouth as well. Motormouth has actually commentated on an event it was actually linked to it was linked to his community, Marmite community. It was a competition between Motive and Marmite's community. It was on Project Cars 2 back in the day. He was the commentator for that one, and he's been in and around the PlayStation sim racing community for some time now, so he's a familiar face, but it's his first actual race out on track here at Motive. Good to see Motormouth here tonight as he's just getting a little bit loose there out of turn 3 it is. But yeah, good to see him. Welcome to the league. Cosmic Crusader as well, we believe is a good friend of Motormouth. And yeah, I don't think there's any other Davidsons tonight. I think that's all. There's a couple of others who made their debut this season, but big warm welcome to the newcomers nonetheless here tonight. And yeah, hopefully they have a good race. Cosmic Crusader's in amongst it. He's currently the only driver out on track aside from Torday, and Torday, I'm mightily impressed with him because he is a lot closer to the pace now than he was back in the day. I know that he's joined you boys in the Run DJC camp. I've been in that server now for a bit over a week, so I know a little bit of what goes on behind the scenes, but looks to me like I think the influence of you guys being there with him has really helped him out by the looks of it.
Yeah, well, I think Lightblade has to take the credit for this one.
Lightblade, what have you told him? What tips have you given him? As we just seem to have lost Lightblade. I think Lightblade's just had to dip for a minute. Either that or he's muted his mic, but nonetheless, we're about to get... Oh, here he is.
I muted my mic. My bad, guys.
Whoops.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned Torday.
Mistakes happen, mate. Don't worry about it.
Sorry, it's my first time in the box. It's all good. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned Torday. I've kind of taken him under my wing a little bit. Hoping to see him do well tonight. He's a passionate guy. He's definitely got what it takes. He's just new to the game, new to sim racing. A little bit of time. He's definitely got it.
Yeah, for sure.
Lightblade, out of interest. So obviously now the guys are going out and doing their one-shot qualifier. Obviously you had the chance of doing that last week for the first time. How did you find it?
Definitely a good structure, different change. I think it works well. With the change in weather last week, it definitely put a spanner in the works, that's for sure. I don't think that's going to happen this week.
Oh, what's happened here? Sorry, Lightblade, to jump in there. Something's going off on the pit exit there. I think that is... Who is that? I don't know who it was, to be honest. It was either John Jig or Pete Bibb there, I think, involved in an incident on the exit of the pits. It was Pete Bibb and one of the drivers coming out the exit of the pits there. He was just spun it on the exit of the pits and there was a bit of contact. So I think there might be a bit of damage on some of these cars and that's going to really hurt them on their one shot here, as we said. Sorry, Lightblade, I'll let you carry on there, mate. I just had to quickly elaborate on that one.
No, I was saying changing conditions work really well with this one-shot qualifying. As you can see, the air temp and track temp have gone up quite considerably since the practice. So not knowing that going into the qualifying will definitely affect these guys, especially with the tyres again. If they're running the same sort of PSIs as they were in practice, during this one lap qualify, and their temperatures are going to be going through the roof. So yeah, it works well with changing temperatures and conditions.
For sure, yeah, it's going to catch them out a little bit, but hopefully the drivers have done enough running at this time of day, because the server's been up, so obviously they've been running in these exact conditions. The practice has been at night, the qualifying's been during the day.
Ryan's just invalidated his lap.
Oh no, how do you know this?
He's just one wide.
Oh no, yeah, that's
he
done.
went it onto the gravel, yeah. So we've got Jazzman who's going to be crossing the line first, but he's just coming up to the corkscrew.
Yeah, so Jazzman we've seen in the 121s over the course of this race meeting so far. Have any of the others been holding back and keeping a little bit in reserve? That we're going to find out in a few moments' time. But Jazzman coming out of the corkscrew into the final sector of this lap. He's been the quickest man over the course of tonight. He's been definitely the fastest over the course of this season as well. Lightblade gave him a good run for his money last week in the wet, but Lightblade not able to race due to his faulty TV monitor, so he's with us here tonight in the box. But here comes Jazzman out of the last corner and up towards the line. What is it going to be on his one shot? It's a 1:22.6, so not as quick as he's been, but for a first lap, that's not too shabby. John Jig, 1.6 seconds off Iron Saber, goes a little bit quicker there, 3/10 quicker than John Jig, up into P2. Recco's coming through the final couple of corners. Guitar Rich over the line, 5 seconds off for the pace, P4 at the moment. That will drop though. Nilsson coming through the corkscrew, Lazy Camel coming up towards the corkscrew, KG Racing, a couple of corners from home as well. Who's the furthest up? Who's going to be next over the line? That we're going to find out. Windsor coming into the final corner. Here he comes out onto the start-finish straight as Recco's gone P2, predictably there at 1.2 seconds off of the pace though. Here comes Windsor over the line. It's an invalid. No, it's not invalid. It goes P5, sorry. Wow, so decent lap there from Windsor. Nilsson now at the last corner. Who else has done a lap? Torday has gone P8. KG Racing's gone P5. Nilsson over the line. It's an invalid lap from Nilsson. Doesn't count for anything. Cosmic Crusader's gone 5th place there with his lap, so he pushes KG Racing, Pete Bib, Laser Camel, Windsor, Guitar Rich and Torday down. Ryan obviously with an invalid lap. Motor Mouth is coming through the corkscrew. He's left it lastminute.com here. King Quinn's coming through the final corner as well. And as he backed off,
I don't think Motive got out in time.
Did he not get around in time?
No, I don't think he did.
Oh, what a shame. What a shame. There's King Quinn up towards the line. What can he do? Doesn't set a time, so it's not going to be too many crumpets buttered there for him as we see Motormouth up towards the line. What is it going to be for Motormouth? Yeah, you're right. You hit the nail on the head there, Freeman. So Jazzman will be taking pole position for this second race of the season here, round 2 at Laguna Seca for the GT3s on the PS4 here at Motive for season 9. Recco Vantage will be lining up on the front row alongside him with Iron Saber in 3rd ahead of John Jig. Cosmic Crusader will line up 5th ahead of KG Racing 6th, followed by Pete Bib 7th, the Laser Camel 8th. Windsor will line up the 9th ahead of Duke Martin, who will be completing the top 10. Guitar Rich and Torday the last two to set a lap time in 11th and 12th places, and then the rest of them, whatever lap time they did, whatever they found on over the course of that lap, it doesn't really matter because it's not valid anyway. So Ryan will start in 13th. Luck of the draw there for him ahead of Nilsson. Motormouth 15th ahead of Codlungu 16th. Mazda 17th. And King Quinn will round out the grid in P18 for this one. Tell if you're currently watching on the stream, guys, smash the like button if you can. It helps us out massively. It helps us out more than you know. We recently hit 1k subs on YouTube. It's been a long time. It's been a lot of hard graft, I tell you, to get to that. We've not come by that just by luck or just by, it's not come easily. I've got to say, got over nearly 700 streams on this channel over the last 2 and a bit years. So that's practically one stream a day. So, it's been a lot of hard work that's gone into this, but we want to thank everybody for tuning in, for all the streams and for all of the support that you give us. It is massively appreciated. And yeah, it's just been, it's the continuation of a lot of hard work. I was going to say culmination, but it's not done, it's not over, it's still ongoing, so it's a work in progress still. But once again, a big thank you to everybody for that. As the qualifying session is now over, and predictably, guys, Jazzman pole position, nobody really hitting the lofty heights that we saw in the practice session, but that's to be expected, I suppose, with the fact that they haven't really got much time to get their tyres up to temperature. It's just to pretty much jump out of the garage and see what you can do, isn't it, really?
Absolutely, yeah. It's kind of this is what I was saying earlier. With what Lightblade was saying, a one-shot kind of lap. You've got to kind of just Me personally, I don't think I would go all out to try and set my blister in place. I think I would kind of just hold back a touch, just make sure I make the corners, make the apexes, get the X's right. So I'm not too far off the pace, but making sure I get a lap in.
Yeah, of course, a lap is better than no lap, even if it's a little bit off of what you're capable of doing. I think it's quite rare that you find a driver who can replicate their best form at the first time of asking, or every single time that they're out on track. You're always going to be a little bit off of where your absolute ceiling, because, as I say, it's a there and then type of thing. You just got to make it happen at the drop of a hat. So yeah, it's not so easy, but nonetheless, we've got a few comments coming in here on the YouTube stream. Yourself, Freeman, chatting to Ryan there in the stream. We've got, let's actually go through all of them. So we've got Raki in the comments. Good evening all, says Raki. Big fan of us here at Motive. Has commentated on the streams as well, alongside myself a couple of times. Always good to see in the chat. The Laser Camel, good luck all. Death by sand and sausages, he says. Hopefully not. Hopefully we all get through the first corner without any sending. Oh, sand and sausages. Sorry, not send and sausages. Sand and sausages. I thought he meant send as in, sending it. But no, sending it and sausage curves. No, it's sand and sausages. Good evening. Sorry, had to cancel the season, says TTV Alianza. Don't worry, mate. You haven't cancelled the season. It's still going on. You're just not racing in it. Raki says, cool full grid. Laguna Seca is always a challenge. Difficult to keep it consistent. It is. It's never easy because the tyre wear, as Lightbird mentioned earlier, will be up a bit as it's now daytime and we're in the desert in California, or it might be Nevada. Not sure. It's one of the two. But yeah, it's pretty hot in this part of the world nonetheless. Laguna is always a challenge. Yeah, it is indeed. Ryan, I blew it again in quali due to an invalid lap time. What is it with you and corner cuts, Ryan? Seriously. It's just not good enough, is it? It's just not good enough. Jazzman, hello Tynus, giving Tynus a wave there, his teammate in the PS5 GT3s, which has been delayed a little bit. Those of you who race on the PS5 will know that we are planning on running a GT3 championship on Sunday nights. However, it's been put on the back burner for the time being, just down to the fact that we need a bit more time to get it sorted out. So don't worry, we will have that up and running. Fear not, don't worry, don't stress yourself out. Don't, worry that we're not going to do it, or worry that there's anything going on. Don't worry, there is not. You can rest assured. We've also got Sean Freeman, obviously Freeman there, having a little joke with Ryan there in the comments. Ryan, you know what I'm like. We do, Ryan. We know all too well, I'm afraid. Federico, Iron Saver, a Matu. And Freeman just saying to Ryan, bring home the P2. Do you reckon he can do it tonight? I think he's got a good chance. He's not in a bad position. He can definitely make something happen from P13.
Yeah, I think going on last week, he was the best out of the rest, should we say, with Lightblade and Jazzman kind of leading the way. Ryan made his way up after again not being able to put a qualifying lap in. So yeah, I fully expect Ryan to be able to kind of be there or thereabouts. I think take a podium spot at least.
Yeah, for sure. I think he's going to be a man on a mission here, as long as he stays away from those corner cuts, those little track limits, which we all know too well. So yeah, hopefully if he does get a couple of track limit warnings, he can sort it out before he gets the big one. And as long as he can make a couple of mistakes, that's all right. But as long as he learns his lesson and doesn't do it before he gets a penalty, he's all right. But
we've got Jazzman first, followed by Reco Vantage, Iron Saber, KG Racing. As someone's just gone off. KG Racing's just gone off, so Ryan's now up into 5th. John Jig's up into 4th. As just confirmed, KG Racing's down to 6th. Crusaders in 7th. Winslow in 8th. Conalunga in 9th. Nielsen is in 10th. Motormouth is in 11th. Mazda is in 12th. Guitar Ridge 13th. Lazy Camel 14th. Duke Martin 15th. Tour Day 16th. P-Bib 17th. And King Queen is in 18th.
Well, I've got to say, that's one hell of a start by Ryan. All the way from 13th to 5th place in the first 2 laps.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But it looks like Reco has actually made an error, because he's now dropped down to 3rd place, and he's 1.3 off of the back of Iron Saber.
What about Jazzman? Almost 5 seconds ahead. What can you say about that?
5.6 seconds ahead.
Wow.
As Ryan's actually closing on the back of John Jig, just half a second between them.
It looks like it's a foregone conclusion already for Jazzman, if I'm honest.
Yeah, as I said, unless
On another level, isn't he?
unless a mistake happens, yeah, I agree.
Where's Andy gone?
Not too sure.
Me neither. Ryan Ruby, half a second away from John Jig now.
So you're able to see the stream, are you now?
The stream's on, yeah. I've got a couple. I've got the YouTube and the Twitch on at the moment. I think the Twitch is a little bit quicker than the YouTube.
Perfect. So Ryan's actually making a move on John Jig. Oh yeah, can't pull that off. Looked to try and get the cut back on him, but it didn't quite work. He might get him on the straight though. Looks to take it to the outside. No, again, I think John Jig's holding that well. He's putting the car in the right places at the moment, John Jig. Jazzman now 7.5 seconds in front. Oh, as Ryan almost makes contact with John Jig.
Sorry about that, boys. I just had a mad moment on the OBS screen. Oh, what's been happening? Ryan up to fifth.
So Ryan's got himself up into fifth place, and he's right on the back of John Jig. John Jig's actually been defending quite well, but Jazzman has now got an 8-second lead.
Jesus, he's flying. I can't believe 8 seconds in 3 laps. That is unbelievable. Wins are doing well.
Ryan's
P8.
making a move. Michael, is he going to be able to do this on the outside?
He's going to have the inside for the last call. Oh, look in the background there. Cosmic Crusader all over the place. He gets it done though, Ryan,
yeah,
up into fourth place. Sorry, KG Racing it was in the background there. Even. Cosmic Crusader running in front of Windsor, so it was KG Racing. We saw there running wide out of the penultimate corner there onto the dirt. Torda's on the back of Motormouth, not doing too badly here in the mid-pack. Motormouth up into P12, so decent first couple of laps for him. Mazda's currently running just behind Torday, just in front of Pete Bibb. G Martin's not at the start. He would have wanted, neither is Lazy Camel, to be fair, as those two have dropped a few places. But John Jig currently trying to come back at Ryan. I think Ryan's going to be going after Iron Saber and Recco pretty quickly. What happened with Iron Saber and Recco? Did Recco make a mistake?
I think he must have done, yeah, because they were quite close for the first couple of laps, and then I kind of clicked off, and then when I came back, it was 1.3 seconds between them. So yeah, I think he must have made a mistake at some point, and it looks like he's made another one as well, because he's now 3.3 off the back of him. So
yeah, he's falling away.
He's struggling a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, Cosmic Crusader is currently running on the back of KG Racing, as it looks like Kodalungu's running in P10. I don't know if he was just dropped a bit, because I thought he was ahead of Nilsson for a second there. I don't know if he's dropped behind him. Motormouth has gapped Torday by a couple of seconds, and he's now trying to go off to Guitar Rich. Pete Bibb, though, really putting the pressure on Torday here, and it's going to be a test for him. He's got some seasoned veterans on the back of him in the shape of Pete Bibb and Duke Martin, so these guys know what it takes to race on this game, albeit not really in the GT3 class, more GT4, but nonetheless, Pete Bibb is looking like he's pretty racy here on the back of Torday. He's driving the car that Torday drove last season in the multi-class series. Always he's wide. Pete Bibb out of shape there. That's going to give Duke Martin a run. Duke Martin should be able to get him here down the start-finish straight. He's going to be pretty vulnerable here as Pete Bibb, and Duke Martin takes full advantage and moves up into P14.
As King Quinn looks like he's trying to make a move on Mazda.
He got a little bit loose there onto the dirt, didn't he? Got a bit sideways.
And these two had the contact on the run up to turn one. It was King Quinn, I think, who just tapped Mazda a little bit on the kind of the back, which kind of put Mazda out. But King Quinn did allow him the position back, didn't kind of overtake him. So these two are going to be going at it all race, I feel.
Yeah, let's see if they can help each other out and get each other back into this race, or are they going to be like, well, if it ain't going to be me, it ain't going to be no one type of mentality.
Ryan
we'll
must have made a mistake. He's now down to fifth.
Yeah, he got ahead of John Jig, hadn't he? But he's maybe just pushing a bit too hard to get onto the back of Recco. Obviously, we know that Recco and Ryan are pretty evenly matched around most tracks. I assume tonight's a pretty similar story, but He just needs to not be too impatient. It's a long race, and 10 seconds over an hour is not a completely unassailable gap. So does he just have to play the long game here? What do you reckon would be Ryan's best hope of getting himself back into as it looks as though, hold on, what's happened there on the yeah, no, that is still the same. Okay, no, but yeah, do you reckon the long game's going to be what he needs to get second place in this race?
Oh wait, we've lost Iron Saber. Iron Sabers must have dropped it as well.
That's what I thought.
He's now down to 9th. Yeah,
that's what I thought, because I saw Ryan in 4th, and I was like, hold on a sec. And I was trying to work out who it was. Yeah, because he just, I was looking at it like, where's he gone? I didn't realise he'd dropped that far down. He is behind
so
Cod.
he's actually now down to 10th. So he's up all over the back of Cololungu. So yeah, in terms of Ryan, me personally, again, you know, he's got the pace. Although he is dropping off the back of John Jing a little bit there, but he has got damage. It's just with Ryan, it's the small mistakes that seem to creep into his racing. We say week in, week out, you know, if he could cut those small mistakes out, he would be up there challenging for podiums every single week.
100%.
He's currently a couple of seconds off of John Jing at the moment. He's pulling away from KG Racing though, so he does have that ascendancy in that regard, as we've got Cosmic Crusader currently on the back of KG Racing, and these two coming down the start-finish straight at the moment. They're about a second clear of Windsor running in P7. Iron Saber's trying to get ahead of Codalungu. Obviously he's trying to come back, as he's made that mistake. He was running in the podium spots. He was running in 3rd place behind, he was running in 2nd place even ahead of Reco Vantage, but he's now dropped down the order a bit, as Guitar Rich has got a stop-go penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So that's not gone to plan. He's obviously got his pit stop done out of the way, but he's come in the pits, and whilst he's at it, he's been putting that car just a little bit too quickly down the pit lane, and unfortunately for him, he's going to have to come in again and try it again. As we see Iron Saber there a bit wide coming out of turn 3, kicked up a bit of the dirt, but he keeps it going in the right direction for the time being. Cosmic Crusaders always wide. Cosmic Crusader, as we just flicked to him there, he's got well out wide, and he's going to lose out here to Windsor. Windsor now running in P6. What a race that Windsor's driving here. He's kind of under the radar a bit tonight, but what a job currently running well up the field in the top 3rd of the classification.
Yeah, that's actually a good position for Windsor. I think last week as well, he did pretty well last week. I think so. You know, he's definitely improving over the seasons that he's been racing with us. I think this is his first season he's come back to us as well, wasn't it? He's missed a few seasons with us, hasn't he?
He took a season sabbatical, didn't he? I think.
That's right. Yeah. So obviously training himself up, or getting himself prepared for this season.
Yes, for sure. He's taken a season away to regather himself together. I don't know if he's been racing elsewhere, but yeah, I know that I think he was, because he used to race in the GT4s, and then started this year he wasn't with us, so he took 4 or 5 months out beginning of this year. Yeah. So yeah, he's certainly come back a better and stronger proposition here for the rest of the drivers out there, which is great to see. Obviously driving in the GT4s before the GT3s, very different kettle of fish, and he seems to have found his niche in that Ferrari. But we've got Nilsson currently in the pits at the moment, presumably for some damage repairs this early on. Maybe not though, because there is no mandatory pit window now. It's a case of just come into the pits any time you like. There's no limit. There's no you don't have to wait to come in. You don't have to come in before a certain point.
In the back of Motormouth. Sorry, Andy.
Oh, yep, he is. Yeah, you're absolutely right there, Freeman. Yeah, Motormouth's done a good job here. He's just kept it consistent, hasn't he, up into P10, racing in his first race here in Motive. Pete Bibb now looking to line him up into the corkscrew. Is he going to send one here? No, he's not at the moment. He goes wide. Oh, he's gone very wide. Tell you what, that was close. Motormouth probably just a bit of a hint of a brown pants moment there for Motormouth. Pete Bibb though, gets away with that one by the skin of his teeth. But Nilsson in the pits, I wonder if he had a bit of damage there. JR in the comments saying someone needs to turn their TV echo off. Not sure owning a kettle of fish is ethical. I wouldn't say so. No, it's not. No, it would be it's definitely a bit of animal cruelty. I wouldn't actually do that. It's not actually very nice. Someone needs to turn a TV echo off. It's not actually me. The thing is, it must be me, but my TV's not on. My sound is coming through my headphones, and my other headphone is dangling on the floor because it doesn't even work. So I don't understand why there's an echo. I really don't. There is no scientific explanation for this. I'm very confused. But Cosmic is still on the back of Windsor right now as these two battle it out over 6th and 7th places here in this race. And Pete Bibb obviously running a couple of seconds now behind Motormouth after that little moment for Pete Bibb coming through the corkscrew on the previous lap. In terms of other battles, it's looking pretty spread out now. The drivers just finding their place in this order, finding their footing.
Cosmic closing on the back of Lazy Camel.
Yeah, he is actually 15th and 16th places.
He's just done him actually. I think he's just taken him.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, yeah, he's done that one as it just popped up on the screen a little bit after that happened. But yeah, Lazy Camel racing as a late stand in reserve tonight, so I don't think he's had the time to really prepare or to get himself ready for this race. But obviously, always ready and always willing to jump in to race here at Motive, and Guitar Rich as well. To be fair, jumping in here, although Guitar Rich I think has actually signed up for the championship. Oh, number 13.
Who's that?
Number 13. Is it? It must be. It looks like, yeah, it is Guitar Rich. So he's had a moment there coming out of turn 2. Or turn 1, is it? I don't really know, to be honest. It's all kind of one turn, isn't it? That left-hander and then the second right-hander isn't even really a turn to me. But it's just like, yeah, it's just flat out. It's like you just go, it's a little kink which leads into the proper right-hander of turn 2. But yeah, he's lost it through that. And Guitar Rich now running a long way down in P18, so he has got work to do in this race if he is to bring himself back into it. But Windsor's got almost a second of a gap here over Cosmic Crusader right now. Cosmic Crusader's trying to come back at him here as they come into the left-hander after the corkscrew.
That looks closer than the second to me.
Yeah, it's definitely under a second now. I think he must have had it. Maybe Windsor had a bit of a moment after that timing point there in the middle sector, because he's now absolutely all over him as they're coming out onto the start-finish straight and up towards the line they come here to complete their 11th laps of the race. The gap between John Jig and Ryan's also coming down. It's now just exactly 1 second. So Ryan has been chipping away at that gap as we knew he would. He needs to keep it cool. Pardon me, that was a hiccup, and not make any more mistakes over the course of this race. And he might even be able to hunt down Recco, who's 10 seconds up the road running in second place. But first things first, he's got to negotiate John Jig, and John Jig's not going to make this easy. And you know, it's entirely feasible that John Jig could keep him behind for this entire race here, because John Jig's a wily old customer, and these two did actually fight it out for the GT4 category in the multi-class last season. Ryan obviously came out on top by the skin of his teeth. He very nearly did everything he could to throw it away, but he did just about scrape home last season in the multi-class. But John Jig, a very consistent driver, rarely makes mistakes and usually gets the best out of his potential, as we see him a little bit loose onto the curb there into the penultimate corner, but keeping it together. But obviously you guys, Freeman and Lightblade, you've both raced against both of these two. When you're behind John Jig, what's going through your head at this point, Freeman?
To me, I look to try and force them into a mistake. Obviously, if an opportunity comes up, if he leaves the door open, then I'll definitely look to take it. But John Jig is very good at actually knowing where to keep the car and where to place it to make it difficult for you. So for me, it's more about trying to set him up and force him into an error. You know, force him to brake a little bit too late, or take a bit of a wider line than he would like, to take him off the corner in order for me then to make my move.
For sure. Well, Lightblade, obviously you know Ryan quite well. You're a teammate with him at Ron DJC. He's on the attack at the moment in this situation. Do you think he's going to be waiting for that mistake, or do you think he's going to be trying to force the issue?
Well, I think he just needs to keep his head calm. Obviously, John Jig being my...
Oh, sorry. Iron Saber's just made a move. Sorry, Lightblade, on Crusader, Cosmic Crusader, and it's now a three-way battle for 6th place.
Yeah, he's just wedged himself in between Windsor and Cosmic Crusader there, and he's looking to be waved by here, I think. Is he looking to the inside into the corkscrew? Looks like Windsor just got out of it a little bit there, and Iron Saber down the inside makes the move. 2 positions in the space of a couple of corners there for Iron Saber, and he's certainly not letting those early... Yeah, he's not letting those early problems holding back. He's bringing himself back up this order, and he's doing it quickly here. But Lightbone, I'll let you carry on there. Sorry, mate.
I was just saying, Ryan just needs to keep his head calm. John Jig being my pick at the beginning of the race to do the business. I'm a little bit conflicted, but Ryan being my MDJC teammate, I've got to go with him. Just needs to keep his head calm. It's still 40 minutes to the race. Still a pit stop to go, so anything can happen.
Yeah, we see Kodalungu in. Oh, he just gets a massive slide there as he comes into the pits. So Kodalungu there is coming in to get that pit stop done, but he was all over the show as he came in. So he's now stopped in the box, and he's obviously going to be serving that pit stop, which you can do at any time throughout the course of the race. There's no mandatory pit window in the middle of the race. It's literally just come in whenever you fancy it, whenever's convenient, whenever suits you. Pop into the box, stop in your jacks, off you go again. Have a good one. And obviously Kodalungu's there, come in to get that done. As we see Ryan still within a second of John Jig, so still trying to put the pressure on, but John Jig doesn't look like he's cracking under the pressure at the moment. So Ryan might have to start thinking about getting a little bit aggressive here.
Has just gone off. He hit the sausage.
Oh, so is John Jig. So is John Jig. John Jig's off as well. John Jig's gone off, coming through the penultimate corner. What about Cosme? Let's jump to Cosme. What's happened?
So he hit the sausage curb on the fast left-hander. He hit too hard and kind of it just pushed him wide.
What a shame there for Cosme, but we also see John Jig there losing out to Ryan. So in fact, John Jig still hasn't got it going. John Jig is going to lose out hand over fist. Yeah, he has lost a lot of places there.
Goes wide as well.
Yeah, well, John Jig there has just lost a lot of time with that one. He's going to be, I think he's down in, he's going to be down in seventh now. Yeah, because he would have lost that. He would have dropped down to 8th if it had been for Cosme, but Cosme there made a mistake again. So Cosme there making 2 mistakes. John Jig making one particularly big one, which has set him back by quite a bit here in this race. But yeah, let's see if he can bring himself back up the order. We've got Pete on the back of Motormouth.
Podium positions.
Ryan back into the podium, yeah. So we said earlier on, Ryan from P13 could do some damage, and he's done exactly that. He's got 11 seconds up the road to Recco. I think Recco should be safe there in second place, but never say never. It's a long way to go.
He is running faster laps than Ryan at the moment. Recco is doing the high 23s, and Ryan's doing low 24s at the moment. So Recco's got the pace over Ryan at the moment.
I do believe, though, that Porsche is notorious for rear end wear, right? I'm not familiar with it, but I do believe so. That could play a role in the end game here too.
Yeah, I think the advantage that you get with a Bentley is that the tyre wear is extremely good.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with the Bentley, as you know.
Yeah, I was just watching Pete Bibb actually looking like he's trying to make a move on Motormouth, and it gets to the corkscrew and he does exactly the same thing as what we saw a few laps ago, where he just didn't seem to get on the brakes quick enough and almost goes into the back of him.
I think I know what it is. I'm 90% sure. I think about 75% of the drivers on ACC run on cockpit, and I think maybe about 25% run on bonnet. I'm one of that 25% that is too much of a wuss to drive on cockpit. I just can't. But I think Pete Bibb does drive on cockpit, and I think what is happening is because the corkscrew goes up and then down, and it's kind of like on a crest, and it's a blind corner. You can't really see the corner. When you're right behind somebody else, it's very hard to pick your braking out. So he's kind of using Motormouth as a reference point. So he's then seeing Motormouth braking, at which point it's already too late by that point, so you can't really get it stopped, and he's having to swerve.
It's quite bumpy up there as well, and if you're on a different line than what you would normally take, the ABS really does kick in, and it just really throws the brake in. As Iron Saber's looking like he's trying to make a move on KG Racing.
Yeah, these two coming out onto the start finish. Iron Saber very wide onto the curb. Wouldn't have cost him any time because you get a better run out wide. As long as you don't get onto the dirt, you're all right. But Iron Saber here's got the run here down towards turn 1. A little bit too far back to send it there. Looked like the straight line speed in the Lamborghini. Wasn't quite where he wanted to be, but KG's gone wide there coming through turn 1, and Iron Saber swoops up the inside. So actually it looked like, to be fair, it did look like KG had pulled away a bit coming into the braking zone, and that's why, because he completely missed his braking point, and Iron Saber's up into 4th place as Motormouth pits.
And I think he might actually have the pace to challenge Ryan as well now. 16 seconds.
Yeah. I think,
Casey, Iron Saber's doing 24 flats. And as I say, when I last checked Ryan, he was kind of doing the low 24s.
Yeah, definitely. So it could be on
towards the end of this race.
Oh, it's number 52 has spun it. Lazy Camel keeps it parked. Good man. Lets him through. Doesn't rejoin the track unsafely. So fair play there to Lazy Camel. As you see, Torde also coming through the shot there, putting a lap on Lazy Camel. So that's 3 cars all on different laps there, just coming through your shot. But yeah, there's Iron Saber right now running in 4th place. Already gapped KG Racing by a couple of seconds since getting that move done. The gap between Jazzman and Recco currently 21 seconds at the moment. You've got Ryan still sat in 3rd place. He's not really making any headway on Recco at this point. He's just coming through to put a lap on one of the Lexuses, which is either Motormouth or Cosme. I know it's not. Apologies, because actually they're in a different livery. I don't know who it was actually, to be fair. But nonetheless, we're looking up the order here. We've got John Jig a couple of seconds clear of Cosme Crusader, so that's where he's come out after that incident. They both had incidents, but John Jig's slightly more severe than Cosme Crusader's. It's Cosme Crusader. Just as we went to him there, every time we go to him, he's having a moment. He's just spun out coming out of turn 2. How bizarre! It seems like every time we flick to him, he's having an incident. Wow. That's baffling.
This is the trouble with Laguna. You know, it is a punishing track. As we were saying earlier, there's no runoff. You're into the sand, or you're hitting the sausage curbs. You know, and they are really punishing curbs. The sausage curbs. You hit those, and they don't take any prisoners.
No, for sure they don't. It's as we see, he's wide. He's right. Oh god, he's just lost it. Yeah, he's just. Oh my god, he's just gone into the wall. So he's taken out one of the braking markers with him, and the rear end of the car took a hefty whack into the barriers. So he's going to have to come in and get that fixed, you would imagine. Did he keep his rear wing? Well, he's still yet to come into the shot, so he's still yet to recover it after that
he's
one.
He's just going now. He's just got himself going.
Yeah, he is now moving. So through the corkscrew he comes, but yeah, he's going to have to probably come and get that fixed ASAP. So, oh god, that's going to be a frustrating one there for him. But right now, Iron Saber's pulled out 4 seconds to KG Racing, so that one looks to be very much in Iron Saber's favour. The gap between Recco and Ryan's still going up. Going to keep an eye on the gap between Ryan and Iron Saber at this point, because that one I think is just staying at around the same at this point. Cosme Crusader's into the pits.
It's coming down by quite a rapid amount actually. Iron Saber's taken chunks out of that time from Ryan. You know, 2 laps ago he was 16 seconds behind him.
Yeah, so he's gained on average about 1.5 seconds a lap there. As we see some dirt being kicked up in the foreground, so Iron Saber just coming up on the scene. As we can see, that's Mazda in the foreground, and there is the Ferrari of the Lazy Camel. So Iron Saber making his way through what looked to be a bit of a kerfuffle there, but yeah, it looks to be all good. Yeah, but John Jig within 3 seconds of Windsor, so we could be seeing John Jig looming large in the rear views of on the back of Windsor in a minute. We'll keep our eyes on that one. Gap between Pete Bibb and Duke Martin 10 seconds. Duke Martin has only got 6 seconds back to his teammate King Quinn, so that one could be one to watch. Torde 3 seconds off at the back of Motormouth at this point. Torde's still yet to come in. Motormouth's done his pit stop, so he's got the pit stop done and out of the way, and he doesn't have to worry about having to come in and serve that pit stop. We got John Jig currently within 3 seconds of Windsor, so he's bringing that gap down. It's come down by about 0.5 second coming through that first sector, so yep, Windsor's definitely going to have to watch out for John Jig pretty shortly. KG Racing gained a couple of tenths on Iron Saber coming through that last sector they just went through. Although Iron Saber's now just gained a second on him through that one. So
yeah, I think
Iron
it was the
Saber's got
traffic
momentum.
wasn't kind to Iron Saber. I think he had to slow down because of the traffic in front of him, and actually lost pretty much the whole time he gained on Ryan. So it's a little unkind, but you know it is what it is. You know, you have to kind of make your way through the traffic as cleanly as fairly as you can.
Yeah, for sure, as we see Iron Saber coming over the line. I don't know if he flashed his lights there. It seems like drivers are flashing their lights when they come over the line. I don't know quite what it is, but it definitely looks like they are. Maybe it's just a light. But right now, Ryan's gained a bit on Recco, actually, on that last lap. It was over 15 seconds. It's now under 15 seconds. So Ryan's made a little bit of headway there. Ryan Saber there running in 4th place. He's got... yeah, he's still about the same behind Ryan. So Ryan certainly picked up the pace a bit over the last lap or so. You were saying, Freeman, a few moments ago that their gap was going up between Recco and Ryan, but maybe Ryan's now listened to that and it's now giving him that little bit of a kick, maybe. I don't know, but he seems to definitely be responding to that. John Jig is within 1.3 of Windsor, so he is bringing that gap down very, very quickly here. And yeah, that's one to watch.
It does seem that Ryan potentially picking up that pace because he's just increased the gap between him and Iron Saber as well. So it could be that Ryan's kind of getting his head down, you know, concentrating on the race itself, and cutting out those mistakes. So the 2nd place may be on for him as well.
Yeah, definitely. Sorry about that, guys. I did just drop my controller on the floor, and that caused the wire to come out. So apologies for that one. But yeah, John Jig is really close on the back of Windsor here. That gap's now under a second. You can see just by looking at them that gap's under a second. As they're coming out onto the start-finish straight now. But yeah, I don't know. Pretty close here between these guys, and the race is just kind of just petering out a bit. At this point, it seems like things are settling down. There's not really a whole lot going on. There's not really too many battles, not really too many trains and cars. It's just John G on the back of Windsor, and that's really the only thing that's going on at this point, as we see these guys just coming through the first sector checkpoint at the moment. But Cod on the back of Mazda, 2 seconds separating those two.
So Ryan's pulled that now down to 13.5. But Iron Saber's also pulled his gap down to 14.5. So I think Ryan Ruby and Iron Saber are lapping at the moment faster than Recco Vantage. So again, it could be interesting come the final part of this race. Still half an hour to go.
Yeah, for sure. As we see somebody just pull off into the pits there. So that's Recco Vantage coming in to make the pit stop, and Iron Saber's also coming in. So those two making their stops here at the end of lap 20. What's the end of lap 22 for them? Other drivers still coming around at the moment. You've got KG Racing there running in P5. Windsor there just behind ahead of John Jig. Pete there in 8th place at the moment.
And it looks as though those two, Iron Saber and Recco Vantage, are definitely making changes or repairing any damage that they might have. Because it's not literally a stop and go.
Yeah, of course. It's you can actually, how long does it take to repair a bit of aero damage on this game?
It does vary, so but a few seconds.
Okay, so it's not too bad. You can just sort of like, it's probably worth it to get it repaired, isn't it? Because when you've got nearly half an hour left in the race, you could probably lose a few tenths a lap just through that. So I suppose it's probably best to spend that couple of extra seconds, isn't it? Just to
it depends
have an easier run of it.
It depends on how it's affecting your race. I mean, I don't know about you, like Blade, but I tend not to kind of look to repair my damage.
It all depends. I don't like to leave rear end damage because that diffuser means quite a lot with downforce. Front end damage, a couple of seconds, yeah, you could leave it.
As we see, actually, Ryan's just come into the pits. So it'd be interesting to see where Recco and Iron Saber come out. Because Ryan is now away.
Yeah.
So Ryan's gonna jump these two.
Yeah, he's on his way out now. So that's mad. He's miles ahead of them.
So they're just coming up to the corkscrew.
Yeah, so he's definitely not changed tyres.
No. No, that's a strategy that I would look to play, is not change my tyres. And I think the other two, I think Iron Saber and Recco have.
The temperature's coming down. It looks like the sun's going down, in fact, isn't it? So this could end in the night.
Yeah, it will end at night time, yeah, because it's a 4 times multiplier.
Yeah, so the track temperature would obviously take a little bit longer, but with the shade now, it means that it's going to be settling down quite a bit. And obviously they've got their tyres up to temperature already, but those who have changed tyres, I think, if anything, at this point, it could even be a disadvantage to have changed tyres, because the tyres that have worked up their temperature in the warmer conditions have now got to work themselves up in this colder sort of like climate. I think it's going to be it's going to possibly set you back to change the tyres rather than benefit you. But I can't see really how that's going to work out for Recco or Ryan Saber. But Ryan's out there at the moment. He's already done his pit stop and he's miles ahead of those guys that he was battling for the podium spots. He's got 5 seconds back to John Jig, who's still yet to pit. KG Racing currently running in P2 with that pit stop still to do. Jazzman also yet to pit. John Jig, Pete Bibb, Duke Martin, King Quinn, Torday all still yet to pit at this point, and everybody else has come in and served that pit stop over the course of this race. So 7 cars still yet to come in, and 11 have already done it. So yeah, that's the current state of play right now in this one. But not too many battles going on at the moment. It's just all settling down a bit. There's not really a whole load of action. And yeah. But I just want to say, while we're here on stream, guys, a massive thank you to the subscribers on the Motive channel for 1,000 subscribers. Amazing journey this whole sim racing journey has been so far. Oh, thank you, mate. Obviously, we've been organised sim racing now for 3.5 years or so. That's basically all that I ever do. For basically all I do in my life nowadays, aside from work. So it's good to have got that to the point where it's got to. And long may it continue. Obviously, it's great to be doing this alongside Freeman. We've got these leagues to a point where I think they're really solid and settled now. And obviously it's great to see that continuing. And obviously no reason for it to stop. So that's great. But we've got we're just watching King Quinn at the moment as he's coming on the exit of the first sector. He's still yet to pit at the moment. He's running. I don't know if he'll be able to be in a battle probably with Torday or Nilsson. Actually, Torday's still yet to pit as well. Duke Martin. What's wrong with Duke Martin here? Duke Martin's dropped back a bit. Duke Martin is now dropped behind Iron Saber, and he's still yet to make his pit stop as well. So that's a bit of a strange one. But yeah, I don't know.
I'm intrigued to know, boys, if one of you can get it up. What's Jazzman's pace at the moment? 26 laps in.
I can tell you.
He's in the pit window now, so I'm wondering what he's going to do.
So his last lap was a 23.1.
Okay, so he's dropping pace?
His fastest lap was a 22.4.
Okay.
And he's right on the back of Ryan as well.
I'm wondering whether he might
he's
changing tyres because he's got that gap ahead of KG Racing at the moment.
Well, Ryan is his closest competitor as a net positions, and he's literally right on the back of Ryan at the moment. But they're just coming up to a bit of traffic, the pair of them. But everyone seems to be getting out of the way. But yeah, so he's dropped just over half a second. Sorry, not over half, almost a second on his pace. But that could be that he's dealing with traffic as well. So.
Mike's running into the pits here at the end of lap 27 anyway, so he's getting the pit stop now done and out of the way. His gap's 28 seconds to Cosmic Crusader. So, actually Cosmic Crusader should come out ahead of him. Who's this behind?
Ryan and Jazzman are actually battling each other, and there is no need to. Sorry. Sat on board with Jazzman for a second, and they seem to be battling, and there's no need.
It's a shame when you see, a battle going on. And there's just no point, is it? Like, it's done and dusted, it's sorted, and then it just gets carried on. What's the point? Like, just let each other race on. No one's doing any harm to each other.
Ryan should be under the blue flag, so there is no need of Ryan.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of trying to race. So
stupid. It's done. It's over. Just like.
If anything, it's just going to slow him down.
Ridiculous.
And kind of put him back into a battle that he might not want. Towards the end of this race, if the other two, Iron Saber and Recco, if they do catch up to him, they're going to be on fresh tyres, or fresher tyres.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I think if tell you what, if one of these guys gets crashed out by the other, I think I think. Probably, if in that situation, I'd just feel like just whacking them off and taking them out, and then just taking myself out. In that situation, that'd be my thinking of it. It's just like that's it, though.
Oh, as we see, Codalingo's right on the back of Windsor, but he's just had to let Jazzman through.
Yeah. So Jazzman's coming through to lap a bit of traffic here, but yeah, he just needs to keep cool and not allow this traffic to distract him and throw him off. As you see him there just putting a lap on the Ferrari of Windsor. But yeah, he just wants to navigate his way through this and not get caught up in any of these incidents, because some of these drivers are going to be battling for position, and the last thing that he wants in that situation is to get caught up in somebody else's incident. We see Pete, Biv and Duke in the pits.
Just taken full advantage though of Windsor moving out of the way, because he was getting lapped by Ryan as well. And Codalingo literally is right on the back of Ryan and just swept straight past him.
Yeah, nice, lovely there. So but he's back in front of him though, Ryan. He has got back ahead, but these two, I don't know. I think massive wiggle there coming out of the left-hander after the corkscrew. Tell you what, he doesn't want to be having too many of those. Let's see where Pete, Biv and Duke Martin are in the pits. They're still in their boxes at the moment. Now Cod will come around to move ahead of them. Windsor's just on the back and still in this battle here, but I think these two will be in 7th and 8th places. Yep, 7th and 8th places, Codalingo and Windsor at the moment. That might change. Don't know where John Jig's going to come out when he pits. Jazzman and KG will be safe from Windsor, I'm pretty sure. Codalingo and Windsor. Pete, Biv and Duke, are they still in the pits? Right, Pete Biv's on the exit now, and Duke is still in that box at the moment.
It'll be interesting to see as well where KG Racing comes out, because he's actually turned it around, because he had a couple of errors earlier on. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see where he comes out actually. I think Ryan will definitely get in front of him. It's whether Recco Vantage can get in front as well.
Well, the great thing about KG Racing in this race is that he made a little mistake earlier on, but obviously I think that it didn't cost him too much. I think in hindsight, it's probably great that it didn't, because he's still doing a good race. He's driving really well. He's obviously learned from that mistake earlier on. So I think it's a great thing. It's actually great that it didn't cost him in the first place, because he didn't need it to cost him for it to actually. He didn't need to be hit with any major repercussions in order to learn from it. He kind of like just worked it out himself without any issues, and it's quite clear that he didn't really need anything to whack him on the head or massively excrete on him from a massive height in order to actually turn it around. He did that by himself, and he's doing really well at the moment, so fair play. But yeah, hopefully he'll come out in a good position once he's been into the pits for the mandatory stop that everybody has to undertake in this race. In the meantime though, Jazzman's still leading this race. John Jig's currently dropping off at the back of Ryan, as you'd expect. He's still yet to pit. Iron Saber though, I tell you what, he's pretty close on the back of Recco here as they're coming over the line.
Yeah, I've just been watching Iron Saber and Windsor as well. Windsor keeps closing up the gap between himself and Codalingo. So interesting battles between 5th and 6th, and then 7th and 8th.
Yeah, absolutely. So Codalingo's pulled out a little bit of a gap to Windsor over the course of that last lap. It's now 1.5. Was more or less around a second before. So yeah, Cod's definitely got the hammer down a little bit there. Recco's pulled out a little bit to Iron Saber over the course of this lap. It was about 6, 7 tenths. It's now 9 tenths. So Recco's managed to find a bit of time there.
KG Racing's just coming into the pits now, so I'm going to keep an eye on him to see if it's a stop, just literally a stop and go as well. And John Jig's followed him in.
Yeah, so there goes. There's John Jig now. KG Racing, 5, 6.
So he's
7,
down. He's going.
8. Yeah, so 7.5 seconds there for KG.
So I think he's going to jump Recco and Iron Saber as well.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, a long hold for John Jig. I think he's having work done by the looks of it.
And I think KG Racing has actually got the jump on Recco Vantage and Iron Saber as well.
So there's Recco coming over the line. KG. It was a very quick pit stop, so I think it depends on whether Recco and Iron have got pace, obviously, on those fresher tyres. I think we all can unanimously agree that it's probably not that beneficial to be on fresh tyres because the tyre wear isn't too bad around this track.
It's late in the race.
So again, mate?
Yeah, 15 minutes to go. I agree with you on that. Light Blade, 15 minutes to go. There would be no need to change tyres.
No, it's basically it's done. There's no need for any more kind of like messing around. Let's just move on, get on with our race, and see what we can achieve. And that's obviously the
track
wonderful.
has come down by 2 degrees during this race, so again, this is the part of the race that the deck will start to come into play. So like we were watching there with the Bentley, mistakes everywhere. So anything happen. 15 minutes to go.
As Wins has closed up massively again onto Cololingo.
Certainly has these two.
To and froing between these two.
Absolutely, Windsor is closing the gap again. It is, as you say, to and froing. I was going to use the same phrase, ebbing and flowing.
He's
Windsor,
just hit the sausage curb.
Oh no, Windsor stacked it coming out of turn 3, and he's put it in the wall as well. Hopefully he hasn't got damage on the car, and he'll be able to continue on. I don't know whether he's got enough momentum here to stay ahead of Mazda. I think he has just about. Mazda will have enough momentum, obviously, without any damage. I think Windsor's probably going to have light damage. I think he'll get that radio message, that classic age-old radio message that everybody that plays ACC loves. We have some light damage on the front, or something like that. In that kind of slightly monotonous voice of, we have some slight damage on the front.
And then you click through to see how much it's done, and it's like 13 seconds worth of damage.
Yeah. So thanks for that. Yeah, that's some measly little damage there. But Iron Saber currently on the back of Recco as these two continue to fight out over 4th and 5th in this race. Mazda though looming large in the rearview mirrors of Windsor. You can just see he's suffering from a bit of understeer
somebody
there.
Else has gone off. Who's gone off? Is that Lazy Camel? It was Lazy Camel. Yeah. I would stay on Iron Saber and Recco at the moment.
Yeah, let's go back to them. There's Iron Saber looking to the outside, and Iron Saber is being a bit cocky here. He's flashing his lights at Recco Vantage. Not a massive fan of that, I've got to say. I'd say do it a little bit. It's not, it's normal to try and mess around a little bit, but repeated flashing of the lights, never really my thing. Recco defending to the inside into turn 1. Iron Saber's going to have to get it around the long way. Can he get the cut back? Has Recco taken a bit too much on the entry? No, he hasn't. He's judged that perfectly and putting his car in all the right places here, and he's keeping it cool and calm. Who's gone off here? Somebody's gone off. Who's gone off here? Is that one of the leaders? I don't think it's one of the leaders. It is. No, it's not KG. Sorry. Do you know what happened? Is I flipped to KG on the spectator mode, and it stayed on that for like a split second, and I thought, it must be KG, but it's not.
I think it was Torday.
Unfortunate for Torday. He had a good start to this race, to be fair. He was driving a really good race in the beginning. He was right up there at the front. It seems to have gone a bit peaked on for him in the second part of the race. We have got a few comments coming in on the stream. I do apologise, not too many, but a few. Snooky there says, evening all, have I missed much? You missed bits and bobs, to be honest, but nothing too major. In the last sort of few minutes, I suppose over the course of the race you missed quite a lot. You might have to watch it back because it's been a fair old bit of chaos. Iron Saber's on the back of Recco Vantage right now as these two continue to battle it out. Oh, what's happened?
Somebody else.
Who's
Somebody
off?
else is off.
Who's off? Somebody's off at the exit at the final corner. And it's Motormouth. Motormouth has gone off and he's on the dirt there on the exit of the final corner. Oh no.
Big damage.
That is major damage there. Now is he going to try and
major damage.
is he going to try and reverse down the track and
This could be dodgy.
yeah, I don't know what he's going to try and do here. He's really he should be driving
as well.
Really, he should be driving around a full lap and then bringing it in.
10 minutes to go. This is where the tyres come into play.
Yeah, 100%. Exactly what I was just thinking.
Well, he's in the pits now. So he's retired the car. He's opted to lose a lap essentially, rather than drive around the lap with a severely impaired car. So Motormouth there, can't see him getting very far in this race now. With that, he'd be in there for a while getting that repaired. So that's not gone to plan very well for him. But Iron Saber's currently on the back of Recco Vantage here.
He still can't find a way around him. You know, I think he's getting more and more frustrated by it as well, because I think he has got the pace.
Yeah, definitely.
Language of them cars that they're both up for this, so this could be a spicy end to the race between these two.
Definitely so. As Iron Saber with 6 tenths, they're coming out onto the start-finish straight. But he's still a little bit too far behind. He's flashing his lights, but the thing is he's not close enough to actually make the move, and he's not forcing the pace. He's not forcing the issue here with Recco Vantage. All he's trying to do is distract him and make him think that he's about to do something or about to go for it. And he's just trying to get in his head.
So Cosmic's just gone off. He was trying to make a move on Mazda. But unfortunately, I think he missed his braking point, or just had to take avoiding action, and then ended up going off.
Yeah, so he's lost out a few positions there, as we see. Duke Martin is still a long way behind, so he'll be all right actually there. He's only dropped down to P10, and that's the full extent of the damage, so not too bad. Iron Saber currently on the back of Recco here as these two fight it out over.
They are closing up on the back of KG Racing as well.
What's Uncle Dub saying here? You ran out of fuel, you plonker. God damn. Who? Mazda? Mazda? Has he run out of fuel?
No, he's still going.
Oh, he must have done for the pit stop. He must have had to refuel or something. I don't know. I know they're in a party chat. They're friends. Unorthodox and Mazda. I think they're friends. Oh no, he has run out of fuel. Look at him. He's paddling. He is paddling. And he's staying out. Why is he staying out? He's got no fuel. Why is he staying out? He's got no fuel. What's he doing?
Oh, he has. He's on the throttle.
Yeah, Unorthodox there saying he's in a party with Mazda at this point. Unorthodox used to commentate on this Wednesday league back when it was the GT4s. When the GT4 league first started here at Motive, he was the commentator alongside Dr. Benji for the first season, and he's not happy in the comments there. He's saying, Mazda man, give it up.
I believe this.
There's no point in giving it up until you're blue in the face, son. Never ever give up until you're blue in the face.
It's going to be a battle for the podium as well, because they are closing.
Half a second in the last half a lap.
Yeah, they are closing on KG Racing. We've got 8 minutes to go, so an extra what? 5, 6 laps.
We see Iron Saber here coming through the final corner, and he's dropped a bit of time here to Recco. But Recco's now looming large on the back of KG, as you said, Freeman. I think they're both going to be coming for him, so maybe the tyre change, although it's made them lose out in the long run. Obviously, with the bigger picture, they've lost out to Ryan. They're nowhere near Ryan. I think it's got them. I think clearly that the tyre change has benefited them in terms of their pace, in terms of the bigger picture, in terms of the amount of time that they lost in the pit box. I'd say it's certainly not benefited them, but they've definitely got a bit more speed than KG Racing has at this stage. Ryan's long gone. He's just ridden off into the California sunset.
Iron Saber's just moved up.
Has he got ahead of Recco?
He has, yeah.
Has Recco got a bit of damage there on the right side of that car? Look at it, it's got that Porsche. That's not the paint.
Pits.
That's not the paint.
He didn't repair it in the pits.
Yeah, he had a little bit of a scrape there on that right-hand door. I shouldn't make too much of a difference, really. It's not even bodywork, really. It's just literally like a vital component of the car, which doesn't actually do much for speed, so it shouldn't really be affecting its pace, I wouldn't have thought. But he is now dropping off at the back of Iron Saber, and Iron Saber is on a bit of a mission here. He's now flashing at KG. He's been flashing people left, right and centre as Iron Saber, and I have a feeling that the new police should be called out tonight because this flashing is getting absolutely ridiculous. But right now we're coming down towards turn 1. Is he going to look to try and send one here as KG defends the inside line? Iron Saber going to look to get the cutback. Yeah, KG.
1.4.
Indeed, yeah, 1.4. So he's falling away. But if these two trip over each other, then that could give Recco another opportunity here. That could give him a lifeline. In fact, it has done, because now that gap is not 1.4 anymore. It is now 0.5. So, but Iron Saber here gets a run. As that was a hiccup. But Iron Saber here around the outside. Is he going to make this move on KG Racing? KG Racing just backed out of it. What's going on there? Did he have a bit of a slip?
I think there was a slight touch. I think he was pushing Iron Saber a little bit wide.
He just got out of it, by the looks of it.
Yeah, so I think he just got off the throttle completely.
And KG there up into third place. Recco follows him through, and now Recco all of a sudden back in it after dropping a second off of these guys. This is a great final few laps to this race. This one is really hotting up, and yeah, at the moment these three battling it out over that final podium spot. Only driver yet to pit in this race is Jazzman, who's been leading this one since the get-go. He's leaving it very much until the last minute. He needs to come in before we obviously get to the final lap, otherwise he will be getting
back in the
a
pits.
massive penalty for his troubles. As KG, yeah, he is in the pits.
It must be fuel as well for him.
Oh, what a shame. What a shame for KG Racing. I'm noticing there also on the timing board, maybe a bit late, that Torde and Motormouth have both retired the cars, as they're now a long way behind. Motormouth's flashing his lights in the pit box. Don't know who he's flashing. Maybe, I don't know if any of the grid girls are stood there in the pit lane or whatnot. I don't think they're out at this time, but nonetheless, Jazzman's coming into the pits here to make his mandatory pit stop at a very late stage.
KG Racing didn't stop. I don't understand why KG Racing went through the pits.
It couldn't have been a drive-through because it didn't come up on our screen.
No.
How strange.
But that's John Duke's now going to come out right on the back of him.
Yeah, the viewers will obviously know, watching on the stream, that in ACC, when the drive-throughs are handed out for track limits, so you get these warnings come up telling you that your behaviour is not acceptable. Yeah, Jazzman is in the pits. He's making his pit stop quite late. He's out now. But yeah, obviously you get those warnings on the screen telling you your behaviour is not acceptable, and it's like, okay, you've got to stop this behaviour, because if you continue it on, then you're going to get a penalty. So you've got to basically stop cutting corners and stop doing these little naughty things which are gaining you an advantage, and you've got to stop mugging people off. So basically you need to just behave yourself, stop playing by the rules, and then you can be welcomed back into the race. So we're like a true gentleman and a scholar. But nonetheless, we got KG Racing and John Jig separated by just under a second. So KG, having made that impromptu pit stop, has now dropped well off at the back of the podium fight. So that podium fight's now very much between Iron Saber and Recco. But these two are going at it for the final top 5 spot, and Iron Saber seems to have pulled out a bit of a gap to Recco. So Iron Saber, after a few little scares in this race, has done a really great job.
John Jid's got the run on him.
Yeah, he's going to get that. Here we go. Yeah, he's done it. He's done it before turn 1. Can KG come back at him? If John G's going to defend the inside line, KG trying to go around the outside. Can he get the cutback? John G little deep, but gets it round, gets it stopped, and still hooks up the apex. It's a fair play there, but these two still going at it. The gap between Iron Saber and Recco just over a second at this point. Ryan has just got himself up ahead of one of the back markers there. Torde's back out on the track. So Torde's got himself back out. He's 7 laps down on the leader, but he is back out on the track. as he's just got the Ferrari there, not the Ferrari, should I say, the, yeah, it is the Ferrari of Windsor, just up ahead of him there on the track, but many laps ahead of him. KG Racing still on the back of John Jig at this point. Oh, what's happening there? Oh no, KG Racing and John Jig have come together, going to the corkscrew here, lap 42 of the race. Oh, what a shame. As I think, is he waiting for him? I think he is. KG Racing waited for John Jig to get it going again. KG Racing assuming the responsibility, I think, for that one, and he continues. But KG Racing, well, to be fair, in the grand scheme of things, it didn't matter because COD, a little way back, he's not going to get them. So actually, it's as they were. So they got off lightly there. They got lucky with that one because there's no harm, no foul. Essentially, it's as you were between those guys. But yeah, big moment there from them. But obviously, they keep their positions. They're reimbursed with the positions that they were already in before, so it's essentially not really their problem. You know, it's like, who cares? Just move on, get over it. They've still got what they had. Exactly, Jazzman on the final lap, so race leader's been dominating this one. So we've got 30 seconds left on the clock, and he's just got to bring it around this final lap. Motormouth in the pits, he's obviously retired a little way out.
King Quin's closed up onto Pete Bibb, so he's going to be looking to try and make a move, knowing it's going to be the final lap.
Yeah, King Quin is flying at this point, but is he going to be able to nab 11th place here at the end? These guys are about 3.5 seconds behind Duke Martin, so they're going to be fighting this one out for 11th, I think, at best. Where's Jazzman? Jazzman is coming through up towards the corkscrew at the moment. Let's jump back to this battle for 11th and 12th places here. But yeah, it looks as though Pete Bibb's got that one in hand, so I think he's going to hold on for 11th place. Here comes Jazzman though, into the final couple of corners. This man has dominated this season so far for the PS4 GT3 League Automotive. He took the win last week at Suzuka. He's a PS5 GT3 champion. He's got the credentials, he's got the pace, he's got the talent, and he's once again got another win here up towards the line. He takes the checkered flag, and Jazzman is 2 from 2 for this season. He says this season he's going to be a reserve. He can't race regularly for this championship, but he's going to be here as and when he can, and he's absolutely running away with this championship so far. An emphatic win from him, there's no other word for it, and he is doing some celebratory donuts as per usual here, as he's once again put in an absolutely superb display. Ryan Ruby will be finishing in 2nd place, and he's the only driver who was even in the same realm as Jazzman today. Iron Saber and Recco a long way behind. Finished the race a lap down. Iron Saber, a podium spot, was a lap down on the leader, so that is just dominance there from Jazzman. John Jig coming through on the exit of the corkscrew. Codling, who's finished the race in 7th. Windsor classified in 8th. Nielsen in 13th. Mazda 14th. The Laser Camel 15th. And Guitar Rich 16th place. As John Jig just comes through the final, up towards the final corner now. And up towards the line he comes, so it's going to be 5th place here for John Jig. KG Racing a further 6.5 seconds behind. He's coming up towards the line now. So yeah, over the line he comes. And that's that. That's the lot. That is the race here for the 2nd race of the season. So Jazzman taking the win in the end, 75 seconds clear of Ryan. Oh my god.
I mean, that's almost a lap.
That is a lap, yeah. Oh my god. That is unbelievable. That is absolutely unbelievable.
Got to hand it to Ryan now, all the way from 13th place. Bought a home in 2nd. My driver of the day, if you ask me.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you.
I agree, yeah. He was my choice to get podium, and I did say that I think I had a feeling he would get 2nd today. But yeah, great race from Ryan. Fantastic racing from the rest of the guys. You know, Iron Saber put on a really good show. Kind of having a kind of a mistake and falling down the grid, he really pushed hard to kind of get the final podium, and it was a good battle between him and Recco as well. I actually thoroughly enjoyed that, watching that.
Where did Iron Saber start?
I think he was in podium positions, or maybe fourth.
Okay.
Yeah, so great job from the top 3 here tonight, but also to all the drivers, the 18 guys who turned up tonight for this one, and great to see that despite a little bit of a shaky start to the race for Ryan, obviously with starting down the order, having a bit of a handicap in that race, he still came up to second place. Didn't pick up any damage, didn't have to come in for any stop goes or drive-throughs, and what a great thing that is, because he obviously didn't need any of those to get him in line. He just got on with the job, and he's turned his race around, and he did a fantastic job tonight. So yeah, couldn't be more impressed with Ryan, and what a great thing that nothing bad came his way, and that he got over it and turned it around. So yeah, well done to him, but well done to all the drivers as well tonight. Big thank you to you guys for jumping in the box with me. It's been great commentating with 3 commentators in the box. So yeah, it's much better when you've got a bit more insight and a few more voices on the show. We will be back probably next week, this time next week for the round 3 of the season. We'll be here same time, same place, as I'm just talking now, so I can buy a bit of time so I can actually check to see where we're racing. So yeah, we'll be back this time next week for the 3rd round of the PS4 GT. It'll be at Silverstone, so we'll be racing at Silverstone this time next week for the round 3 of the season. But yeah, make sure you tune in for that, guys. We'll see you guys very, very soon. Cheers, everybody, and it's a good night from me.
Yep, thank you very much, everyone, and good night.
Cheers, bye.